It's time for the Sports Blitz, the only live-streamed local sports show in Arkansas, with all the latest on the sports stories that matter to you.
Welcome into a very eclectic Wednesday on the Sports Blitz. Mark Freeman, Weldon Braxton, Maddie Lassiter. David's over here proud that I knew the word eclectic. You know where I learned that?
Where'd you learn it?
No, it was Sister Act. It said the word eclectic and it stuck. Just happened.
Was it Sister Superior?
No, I don't remember who it was that said it. I don't remember. One of the characters in Sister Act. Welcome back. Welcome in to the Cogswell Motors Studios for what I mentioned about eclectic, for those that don't know the word. Lots of different stuff we're going to talk about today. Lots of different topics going from NBA to NFL, little soccer, the World Cup, USA. 2-1 win over Ghana. You can't act like you weren't watching.
Well, I did watch, actually. It was the first soccer game I've ever watched start to finish, I have to admit.
Oh, wow.
I watched
I didn't
every
even do that.
Yeah, I watched every minute. And you know what? It's kind of like I was saying the other day, how it really wasn't that bad from the standpoint. But here's what you have to do. I can't envision me watching a game if I start off in the middle of it. Like, if I just turn it on, it's in the middle of the game.
Yeah.
Can't see me getting into it. But I was able to get into it because I was feeling the flow from start to finish. You know, how the U.S. start, obviously getting that goal in the first 34 seconds. And then you saw the U.S. kind of control it. See, kind of like basketball terms, knowing who likes to play fast, who likes to play slow. Got a feel for that, understand it. You know, Ghana kind of wanted to be that up-tempo team, you know, get the game open. We kind of wanted to be the bogged-down team, control possession. So you watch that with that degree of understanding. Then the second half, even though there weren't a lot of goals scored, you understood that Ghana was dominating because they were getting a lot of opportunities on our goal. And so you can understand soccer fans saying, boy, the U.S. is playing terrible. I'm like, we're up 1-0, but you could see clearly Ghana was out playing. So you just get a feel for it.
I'm going to be honest with you. I've watched more soccer, and I'm giving it the chance, the best chance I can. Yeah. I'm not enjoying a whole lot of it. It does get your heart racing a little bit when they get close to the goal, but that's it. Like, I was sitting in there the other day, I was working in the office, and I had the game on in the background, and the only time I would turn is when the voice would get loud because they were close to the goal, and then I turn and look, and that's the only way I can watch soccer, because the between, you know, like, oh, we're just kicking it around the middle, and sometimes, like, I look up, and they're kicking it back and forth, and somebody is up here past the midfield line toward the goal they're going toward, and they kick it back, like, 60 yards, and I'm like, what was the point in that? Like, to me, it seems like, and I make the basketball reference all the time, but it'd be cool if there was like a backcourt rule. If you went back behind that, it's their ball.
Yeah,
and they get it going this way. It'd make it a little bit more fun. But like we said, they're not changing soccer for me or anyone because it's been around a lot longer than basketball.
And I figured, because it's so hard to control the ball. You know, it may be to your advantage to kick it back because otherwise they're going to take the ball from you. So, you know, maybe you have that in play. But, you know, like I said, you feel the flow from start to finish. And, you know, again, you and I are not soccer experts. I guess the experts will tell you about the formations, and that's when you see a kick in the middle. Yeah, I don't know if they're in a 2-4-2, whatever the formation.
I don't even know how many players they have on the field.
I don't either. I just hear a lot of talk about, is the U.S. going to switch to their 2-2-4-4, you know, or their 1-2-3, you know, their formation. I guess that makes a difference. So I'm learning.
Yeah, I'm watching at least a little bit to enjoy what the U.S. is doing. Like, they're playing an exciting brand of soccer, and they're making it. They're trying their best to make it interesting.
No Altidore either. He gets
Josie
hurt.
Altidore pulls a hamstring, and there's some talk about whether or not he'll be able to play. Clint Dempsey scored the first goal 30 seconds into the game. Later, he gets kicked right in the nose, broken nose. I don't know what that dude was doing. Like, the guy who kicked him, he sold out because there was no way he was getting his feet back on the ground, landed right in the middle of his back. So that crap had to hurt. And he breaks Clint Dempsey's nose. He wasn't the same. He said he was swallowing blood the rest of the game, couldn't breathe. And now they're talking about whether or not he's going to wear a mask during the next game. He's going to play. I would almost guarantee that unless he's just inhibited from being able to actually breathe, he'll play. But that throws a little bit of a wrench with those two players being limited in the U.S.'s plans. And we've talked a little bit about the group of death coming into the World Cup. U.S., Germany, Portugal, and Ghana. They beat Ghana, who knocks them off in the last two World Cups. Now they've got Portugal up, who just got blasted by Germany.
Yeah.
Portugal probably has, if not the best player, the second best player in the world in Ronaldo. So listen to this soccer knowledge. They've got a team that's reeling, and I heard the conversation yesterday, Weldon, and I don't know where you stand on this, but it could be a Portugal team that's reeling and just ready to lay down, or it could be a Portugal team that's cornered, and they're that caged animal, that's cornered, and you don't want to mess with them.
Right. Well, from what I understand, Portugal not only struggled on the scoreboard, they also struggled with their emotions. They've got one of their players who's suspended for the game against the U.S., so they're going to have to overcome that. They may come out fighting, they may come out ferocious, but I tend to think they may be a little bit more wounded, a little bit more on the vulnerable side. Certainly, if you're an American, you hope that's the case. All right, Mark, that's all I got. NBA draft, let's go. I emptied the tank today for soccer. I'm empty.
I like how you didn't even finish his sentence. He's like, I'm done. That's it. I'm out. We've asked today's CrossFit Russellville poll question. You can see sort of where we're leaning with this. Has the U.S. and the World Cup, or just the World Cup in general, made you interested at all about soccer in America? Has this World Cup captivated your attention? I know that there was some numbers out that said that the World Cup game, U.S. versus Ghana, outdrew the NBA Finals. That's kind of I don't necessarily buy that.
Did they go like each game or just over a period?
Outdrew Game 5.
Well, yeah, people knew.
Yeah,
Spurs,
let Game 7 happen and tell me if they outdraw. And also, it's like the Olympics. It's an event where everybody in the country can root for one team rather than, I don't like the Heat, or I don't like the Spurs, or I don't like basketball at all, so I'm not going to watch. Everybody's going to at least pay attention a little bit to this this World Cup, at least a little bit, because it's the U.S.
Yeah, let me ask you this question, though, because I said I was empty on soccer, but I do have one more thing I want to point out, and then I'll ask you. There is a little bit of something in me that gets juiced up when I feel like I'm an underdog. And that's what the U.S. is in soccer. This is the world's game. This is not our game. We've been dismissed. We're on an also ran as far as the world soccer landscape. And I like playing with that house money. I like upsetting the apple cart and getting in there with the big boys. With basketball, it's like somebody got within 15 of us. Oh, gosh, what's wrong with us?
Yeah.
Come on, LeBron, Chris Paul, and the rest of them. People getting within 15, let's go. But with soccer, it's just like, this is not our game.
Yeah.
We're kind of stealing some things. That's a little bit exciting.
Well, that is exciting. We do like to root for the underdog. More than that, though, we just like to root for America.
Yeah.
It's just like in the Olympics, I'll go watch any number of sports that I don't care at all about. Have I paid attention to one swimming race in the last 4 years? No. But I watch the Olympics just because it's America.
But do you get excited, though, when Team USA basketball wins? Because I don't think many people get excited.
I stayed up till like 3 in the morning to watch the 2008 Olympic gold medal game when they played against Spain because, for one, I love basketball, and for two, that was the redeem team type thing. I like Olympic basketball. That was the first sporting event going back to the Dream Team that I remember like loving. I love the Cowboys. I loved the NBA back then, loved Jordan, but that was the first. So I'm kind of an anomaly as far as the Olympics go. So I would root for that. But if it's U.S. on front of the jersey, especially if they're the underdog, I'm in.
So and basketball is just like we should win. Like I don't get that excited. 2008 because of what happened in 2004. Lord have mercy, 2004.
Yeah, I didn't watch in 2004.
I don't blame you.
I really didn't, and that was before I knew they were going to suck.
Oh, really?
Because I knew they didn't care.
Yeah.
And I didn't like Larry Brown. I didn't like Allen Iverson. I didn't like Stephon Marbury was on that team.
Yeah.
Really, I knew.
Running that team. But, like in general, for me, the dynamic is big. That USA basketball, I always like to see the stars play with the stars. But when we win, it's kind of like, we didn't lose because that would have been a train wreck. With soccer, it's like, we beat somebody. Yes, that's how I feel.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, the U.S. has got a couple more chances to, we beat somebody in this World Cup and see if they can get out of group play. They've got a good shot. Like we said, Portugal got destroyed by Germany. What was it, 3-0? Or I think it was 3-0.
At least, it was bad.
Against
your team, Germany.
I picked Germany to win the World Cup. Brazil, Talked about Brazil. That's the home country. I told you they were feeling the pressure. They didn't score yesterday. They tied 0-0, which is
Mexico.
Spanish for 0-0, because that's what soccer is all about. Yesterday against Mexico, and I watched that game. That's what I was saying. I was trying to give it the best shot I could, and I watched that game. No goals. I was like, really?
Oh, you watched the non-American. I got to give you credit for that. I can't. I'm not there yet.
I did watch that Ochoa dude, the goalie, the keeper for Mexico. Dude,
He's a bad dude.
Oh yeah, he made a couple saves. And I was like, dang. And then I watched a little bit of the Russia game last night. I was just rocking the baby to sleep. I was trying to make myself go to sleep.
That's
I
a
guess.
good way.
But yeah, I was watching a little bit of that game, and that Russian keeper, he was horrible. He had the ball hit him in the hands 4 or 5 times. He was like, dropped it and picked it up. And then the one goal that South Korea scored, he hit it with his hands, and it went right over his head. Into the goal. I was like, really? Well, and after watching that Ochoa dude, I was like, okay, he going back in my mind, he's even better. He laid out that Neymar dude from Brazil, kicked one, and I'm amazed at how they can put spin on the ball so well with kicking it. Just based on where they kick it, they can still kick it hard. And he kicked one spinning away toward the post. It was going in, and he laid straight out and got a fingertip on it. The ball was across the goal line. It wasn't all the way across the goal line. It was on the goal line, and he hit it. If it would have been 3 inches further, not only is it all the way across the goal line, but even if he did tip it, it would have hit the post and gone in anyway. And he tipped it out around the post, and they didn't score. It was pretty cool, and I was actually impressed by that. So
Basketball.
Anyway, that's where we are.
Basketball.
We're going to look at a mock draft here in a little bit for the NBA. Before we do, though, we need to hit a break, and I need to let you know about local sports. The Arkansas High School Coaches Association All-Star Games are coming up this upcoming week in, I think they're in Conway this year. Yeah. Baseball and softball are at Bear Stadium and Ferris Field. They're in Conway Tuesday at 5 o'clock is when the first games take place. I'm reading their Twitter account here. The All-Star Boys and Girls Soccer games are Wednesday the 25th at 6 and 8 p.m. respectively, girls and boys. And then the All-Star Volleyball game is Wednesday at 7 p.m. at the Ferris Center. That's the basketball facility there on the campus of UCA. The All-Star Girls and Boys Basketball games also at the Ferris Center Thursday, June 26th at 6 and 8 p.m. All-Star Football game, that's sort of the cap of the week. That's going on Friday, June 27th at 7 p.m. at Estes Stadium. I haven't checked on this recently, but I think Michael Perry from Pottsville is playing in the football game and maybe the basketball game. I know Coach Davis from Clarksville. I should have got him to call in today. He is the head coach of the West All-Star team. They've got it's always rough in that All-Star game because the East team has the kids from Jonesboro and they have the kids from Little Rock. Coach Davis gets everybody else, so they get hosed in that, and they don't get the best athletes to play on their team. But Coach Davis gets the honor 2 times out of 4 years to be the head coach. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it really is, Mark, and Coach. He's deserving of it. You know, Clarksville's been consistent over the years, so he's certainly worthy of that. And you look at this All-Star game, it does seem a little bit unfair, that the East Side gets. But maybe Coach Davis will have some tricks up his sleeve, maybe get some kids to, rally, maybe slow the game down. No, that's not what he likes to do.
Yeah, that ain't his style.
But sometimes you have to do what you have to do when you got a lot of Bentonvilles, Springdales on your team, and some Almas and Greenwoods going up against the Jonesboros and the Little Rocks of the world. You may have to do what you have to do.
I'll tell you what I'd do if I were him, knowing I'm going to get beat. If I play anywhere near normal, I'm just going to tell them, you just run down there and you jack up as many threes as you possibly can, and let's pray they go in. Because if they do, we're going to run them out. And if they don't, we're going to get beat like we're supposed to anyway. So we might as well. And it's an all-star game, so obviously nobody's playing any defense. You might as well just go down there and shoot threes. That's what I'd do. I mean, I remember a couple of years ago, Bobby Portis is dunking on everybody. And I think he had a play against Archie Goodwin last time. It was like he had a stacked squad against him last time, and I felt bad for him. He went down there and got stroked. So I think that this year, I think Freddie Lee, if I'm not mistaken, might be playing. I've had some information on these things, and I don't have it in front of me. I think there's a Hector kid playing in the football game, and trying to think if there's anybody else from around here playing in any of those. We'll try to get that information for you. We've got a week before those games take place, but we'll find out who locally is playing in these all-star games. We're going to hit a break. When we come back, we've got a lot of stuff to get to. The NBA mock draft I just saw couple other things. Arkansas is running back U. That'll be on the second half of the show. We're going to talk with Charlie from Plummerville Speedway in the 11:30 segment. So we'll have plenty of stuff left on the Sports Blitz. Stay with us.